Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Gray, your one and only corrupted angel, and today it's it's the new year. It's the new year, and as it's the new year, I wanted to do something that I haven't gotten to do before, which is I wanted to go through my account and just show you guys where I'm at after 10 months of playing the game, of streaming, all that sort of jazz. Where are we at? You know, what have we gotten done since I started streaming? And yeah, just show it off a little bit. So with that in mind, let's get straight into it. Starting off with America. America was a weird one for me. I had already started it before I took my massive hiatus away from the game, and when I came back to the game, there were plenty of things that I still needed to get. Obviously, we got some light tanks, so some heavy tanks and new vehicles like the T1E1. I'm slowly getting the Skink now. But I was able to pick up the Sheridan from the Battle Pass, which was a lot of fun. I ended up grinding out the light tanks all the way to the XM800T, which was really fun. I was at roughly this like 9.3 BR prior to starting my streaming. So I was able to get the M60 all the way through to the M1A1. I was able to get the M247 all the way to the ADATs, and then I was able to get the Abrams all the way to the SEP V2. After this, though, I think I am pretty done with USA. USA is one of those nations for me where once it hits 7.3, it isn't very fun. I think 7.0 is their sweet spot thanks to the M46, the T29, and the absolutely phenomenal roster of 7.0 premiums that you have available to you from the Sky Raider, the Sky Shark, all the way through the T29. For aviation, I did end up picking up said Sky Shark very late in the year, and I'm slowly working towards getting to 7.3 slash 7.7 with the US Navy side of things, the aviation side of things, I should say. But that's slowly happening. I'm not exactly rushing my air trees right now. I've been putting that on the back burner just for a little bit at least. But overall, USA for me is just not quite there yet. I think if they add another variation of the M1A2 or the M1A3, if they give them their upgraded armor packages one day, maybe give us a historically accurate HSTVL or an RDFLT, maybe give us another light vehicle, or potentially some better AA. It might work really, really well, but for now, the games are pretty much just get spawn camped and lose, followed by you killing everyone because you're the only one that actually has a tank past the first or second spawn, in which case you sit in your spawn and kill all the spawn campers. It's pretty much that simple. It's not really very fun, and I don't really enjoy it all that much. Moving over to Germany. Germany was a big change for me. I played Germany as my very first nation, hence why I have the Tiger 2s and the Panther 2s. I picked up a couple of new vehicles, though, this year with the SDKFZ from this very battle pass that's going on right now. I had the Two Fronts pack, which I got as well when it came out this update. I was also gifted the Tiger 2 SLA by a wonderful viewer of mine, which was fantastic. I was able to pick up the PZH 2000. I already had the mouse and that sort of thing, but at the time I was at 7.7 and 8.0 when I came back to the game. I was able to get all the way to 12.0 with the help of some Event 9.3s that I had from a million years ago that I never was able to really play because that was the only vehicles I had at that BR. I threw a talisman on the C2A1 when I first started back on the game and I started streaming. I was playing the C2A1. I smashed out 9.3 like no tomorrow. Ended up all the way over to 10.0, getting my 2K and my Radkampfwagen, which I absolutely adored. Ended up getting the Boxer MGS as well for that lineup, which was really enjoyable too. And then eventually getting all the way down to leopards. Again, while it was on sale, I picked up uh, very recently the two talismans for the leopard 2s and finished up the lineup. Skipped the Strela, skipped the Osa, luckily, which was really, really nice. I only just barely was able to skip these. Very, very close. I think I had like 3 days um, for the before the Osa came out to get the Roland because I wasn't sure if it was going to be folded or not. And then obviously we were able to get the Florakrad, which was really nice. As for German aviation as well, I actually did quite a lot of work, and I got all the way up to 9.7 with the MiG-23BN. I haven't spaded it yet, so I've still got not a lot of good weaponry for it, but that is going to be my cast plane moving forward once I get all of the upgrades for it as well. I do want to maybe look at getting the Alpha Jet, because I think that would be a little bit of fun, just to play around at 9.3, but for all intensive purposes, this is where this nation is probably going to sit, to be entirely honest. I don't see myself really using something like the F8F or the non-premium version of the G91. I already had all these premiums and all these event vehicles and squadron vehicles and stuff, so I'm basically just doing this line. I believe what I had prior to starting was somewhere around here in the 3.0 mark. So I was able to grind out quite a few ranks just by playing the JU288C, and then did a very small amount of grinding with the G91, which was a lot of fun to get these last things here. So probably going to spade the MiG-23BN and passively get these and these as time goes on as well. But overall, fantastic nation. Fantastic choice. If you're new and you haven't played the game before and you're seeing this video, or perhaps you just simply want a new nation and you've never gone down Germany, Germany is probably the best nation in the game just from a consistency standpoint. You have phenomenal low tier with the Stugs and the Panzer IVs. You've got even better in the mid game with the Tigers, the Panthers, the Tiger 2s, and then you've got great 8.0 lineup if you like light vehicles. If you don't like light vehicles, you've got the PZH 2000 and the M48 at 7.7. If you can pick up the mouse, that's even better. But overall, you've got some decent AA all the way through the nation as well. You've got a pretty decent 9.3 lineup, probably one of the better ones in the game, even if you don't have these vehicles. Leopard 1A5 is fantastic. The KPZ, the M48 Super, I've heard is actually really good as well, but the KPZ is definitely good. The T72M is definitely good. The Bagel Panzer is definitely good, right? So all of these vehicles are phenomenal. And then you get down here, and it's even better. The 10.0, 10.3 lineup is phenomenal. Unfortunately, the 10.7 lineup doesn't exist, which sucks a bit. But the 10.0, 10.3, fantastic. You got so many choices of AA, from the Flak Panzer, which is the Roland, to the Osa, to the Strela. You've got some light vehicles in the form of the Puma, in the form of the TAM2C, or the Radkampfwagen as well. You've got an ATGM carrier in terms of the Weasel, so there's plenty of options for that 10.3 lineup, which is just fantastic. If you do have the Vilcus or you do have the Panzer Battalion, even better, you can make a 10.7 lineup, but I wouldn't even bother with that, honestly. I think those are a trap, and the 10.3 lineup's just exceptionally better thanks to the fact that you can down tier into 9.3 as well, which is so beneficial. And then lastly, of course, the Leopard 2A6s are just, well, the 2A6, the 2A5, the PSO, and the 2A7 are all absurdly good. These vehicles are like playing War Thunder on easy mode. I've never had such an easy time playing top tier quite like I did with the Leopards. So if you want a really easy top tier experience, if you want the best top tier experience outside of maybe Sweden, then check out Germany. Moving on, we have USSR. USSR was the other nation that I am very close to finishing. I wasn't quite able to finish it off last year in 2024. So let's have a look at quickly what I've gotten. I was able to get the SU-85 from the Snow Globes recently, which was really cool. Other than that, the lower tiers are exactly how I left them. I was probably the furthest up with this nation than any other nation when I started back 10 months ago. So I was roughly, I did get the KV7 as well, but I was roughly, I believe at 8.7. Yes, I was at 8.7 slash like 8.3. I had the T62, and that was something that I had talismaned. I ended up picking up the T72A and talismaning that as well, which was really, really nice. I think I might have had that already, actually. But that was it. I didn't have any AA whatsoever. I didn't have anything past that 9.3 mark. Didn't have the Object 435 or anything like that. This year, I was able to pick up the 292. I was able to finish researching the BMP2M. I was able to pick up pretty much everything you see here. I'm working on my Panzer right now. My 10-0 lineup. I ended up talismaning every single last vehicle because I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy that. I want to get some Silver Lions when I'm not broke from the snow globes to put the 2S6 on the lineup as well. But yeah, overall, I put some talismans on. It allowed me to research this in no time at all, and it was an absolutely fantastic choice because I've been getting 17 to 25,000 research a game. Sometimes I'll get a really bad game, which is only like 6 or 7,000, but I've gotten upwards of 25 in a single game with this lineup, and it's just phenomenal. So definitely recommend if you haven't 10-7 Russia. It's phenomenal. But this nation as well is another one that's just fantastic all the way up until 10-7. Once you get past 10-7, their 12-0s are kind of trash. It is a bit unfortunate, but the T90M does kind of suck, and so does the T80 BVM. They're just not very good. They feel dated to play. The T90M still doesn't have a reverse gear because it's not the MS. The T80 BVM just doesn't feel very strong. It's usually penned from the front. The ERA doesn't really work as good as you would want it to. The lower plate is a fantastically known weakness. You have mud flaps to literally show you exactly where you have to shoot. Pretty much shoot anywhere in the black. You're going to blow it up, which is the main issue I have with it, right? Because that's basically your lower plate there anyway. But as a whole, it's just not a very strong vehicle. It doesn't feel very good to play. And that's okay. It doesn't need to, because the rest of the tree really does shine. 10-7 below is phenomenal. And you've got some cool new vehicles coming to the game as well. Great Britain I haven't touched. I do apologize. Oh, actually, quickly, I'll show you my aviation. My aviation is actually getting high. I got the SU-25K this year as well. Picked that up. Smashed the crap out of air for it. I was only at the PE8 beforehand, and now I'm at the TU-14. I got all of these fighters as well in rank 3, and I've gotten all the way to the MiG-15. I'm trying to get the MiG-9 now. But overall, it was a really fun experience. I ended up having to spade the TU-4 because one of my viewers asked me to, and that was a lot of fun too. I actually really enjoyed the TU-4. Britain, I haven't touched. Britain, I haven't touched at all. Like, I am not touching Britain. I know that that's like an unpopular opinion. I feel like I should touch Britain, but I just don't enjoy it. I've already had the QF RAM for a million years, but other than that, I just could not care less about Britain. I don't like solid shot that is on slow vehicles with a slow reload and mediocre armor, so I don't play Britain. I dumpster all over Britain every single game that I play usually, so I never really care whether or not I research Britain. So at the moment, I have just kind of ignored Britain. I might come back, I might pick it up eventually, but for now, the answer is no. Same thing goes with aviation. I was able to get the Firecrest, but other than that, I just don't care. The Jaguar's pretty cool and still pretty cheap. I considered getting it at one point, but considering it's not a premium and would not really help me in the slightest get through this absolutely colossal air tree, I don't really see a point in bothering, especially considering I'm not an air main. Moving on to Japan, I did do a little bit of Japan. During the sale, I picked up a Chinu 2 quite a while ago, and I put a little bit of effort into grinding for the Chinu 2. I actually quite enjoyed it. I really enjoy the Chinu 2. I really enjoy the Cheeto and the Cheeto Late as well. They have the same gun as the Chinu 2. Really performs well at 4-7. Can kill quite a lot of things. You don't really have to worry about versing Panthers all that much because not a lot of people like playing the Panther D, and that's the only Panther that you can really face. So you don't really have to stress about fighting Panthers, which is like your one scary thing that you don't have to fight. You don't even have to fight the improved Tiger 1 because that's at 6-0 as well. So you can kind of avoid it, which is really nice. In the new year, I am going to use this lineup to grind all of rank 4. I'm just going to get up every vehicle. I'm just going to pick up every single vehicle. I'm going to play this every day, pick up every single vehicle in this entire tree, just so that way I have a really firm basis of rank 4 Japan, and then I can work on, well, everything else. In aviation, though, I got nothing. I haven't bothered with aviation for Japan. I definitely had a point in time where I thought about it with something like the Key 102 and other smaller vehicles like the B-17, but ultimately I just didn't really feel very inclined to get any of these vehicles. And I still don't to this day. They're not really my thing. I'm not really an aviation guy, and I don't see myself really ever grinding aviation for this nation, even if I decide that I want to play all the way up until rank 8. China, it's another one I haven't touched. I did get the PLZ 83, which is cool. I played a few games in it, and I kind of enjoyed it, but ultimately just ignored the nation, and also I was able to get the Mustang from the Battle Pass, which again, I also kind of ignored the nation. I did play a couple of games in it because I had to, but that was only a couple of games. Italy. I do have the BF 110. I picked that up very, very recently, like within the last 4 weeks, and that was to add to my all premium lineup that I got gifted. I actually got this from Gifted GE, which was really cool, but I got gifted this basically entire lineup. All I had was the Sherman 1 prior to that, because I bought that like when Italy came out essentially, and it went on sale. I picked up like the Composito a while ago, but other than that, I didn't have any of these vehicles. The Zrinyi I got in one of the Silver Lions crates. The Breda I got gifted, and then the Panzer IV I got gifted along with the BF 110. So it was pretty cool. Army-wise, again, this is something that I'm going to work on this year. I want to get to rank 4, get everything researched in rank 4 Italy, and then that'll give me a firm basis on whether or not I want to push past rank 4 Italy. I think if I get a good idea of how the nation plays by rank 4, same thing with Japan, I can really decide whether or not I want to maybe eventually the next sale happens, pick up a higher tier premium eventually. Moving on to France, I had quite a lot of France researched. I was about up to here when it comes to France. I did pick up some of the other AAs that got added. I did pick up a couple of other things, like I got all the way to the Foch. Before that, I only had the AUF1. But I did have 77/80 already researched. I didn't touch any of their light tanks until recently. I got their light tanks as well. But I also won a talisman, actually, on my AMX-30, which I thought was really cool. And I ended up getting all the way down to here. This was an absolute blast to play. 8-0 carried me the entire way to here. And then after 8-0 carried me all the way here, I actually just hard grinded out the AMX 40. And back when I was grinding this nation, the rank 8s actually weren't the Leclerc 2S. So these were actually rank 7s. They had stock heat, and they were down here. And these were out of rank 7. These weren't actually rank 7. They were rank 6. So the only thing in rank 7 used to be the Leclerc 2S. This and the standard Leclerc. These were what I picked up right after 9-3. So I hard ground out the first Leclerc. I bought a talisman for it. I ended up getting a free talisman on the Leclerc S2, which was fantastic. And then I used that to grind out everything else. I am a bit sad that they've done this because it makes the grind for France a little bit harder because now you have to get, well, everything. But in saying that, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It doesn't really change much. It just tells you need to play 9-7 France, which is debatably fine. AMX 40 is good, Vextra's good, Roland's good, so can't complain too much there. Overall, though, this nation is my favorite nation in the game. I am a French main. It was the first 12 I ever got, and it will remain something that I absolutely adore. I do have nothing going on for aviation, but I did pick up the F1 quite a while ago while it was on sale, and I am going to eventually work through all of this and try and get somewhere higher in BR. Probably get like the Alpha Jet and a couple other fun vehicles here. I'm just gonna grind out like every vehicle in the line to pick something nice, but this will be a focus for this year. So this year I'll work on French aviation for sure. But ultimately, fourth nation fully complete in terms of ground. The other stuff, again, like obviously I don't have the HSTVL, I don't have the Striker, obviously I don't have the Weasel, right? These vehicles I'm just going to get passively if I ever get requested to play these nations, but ultimately I am happy to sign off and say that they are complete. Same thing goes for France, happy to sign off and say that they're complete, even though I don't have the 2.6 or the Mephisto or the VBCI. Sweden's up next, and I actually did do a little bit of Sweden thanks to the Kungstiger, which I was able to be gifted by one of my viewers. The Kungstiger is honestly a lot of fun. I really love Tiger 2s, and to have a Tiger 2 in another nation, I am completely okay with. Really, really enjoyed it. Having a 6.7 BMP1 as well was pretty funny, and the Charioteer doesn't do too bad. The T-3485 leaves a little bit to be desired, but I will probably eventually come down and get the Bakan 1C and replace it with the Bakan 1C. In this case, this is another thing that I'm going to work on this year. So the dream for this year is to basically get this all the way researching rank 5, so that way rank 5 is all researched, and then I can decide whether or not I want to push in to the last little bit. As for aviation, though, nothing's happening here. And nothing probably will happen here. I don't see myself researching this tech tree. I don't care for planes, again, all that much. And to have this be something where I don't really have a solid Swedish lineup that I want to play, right? 6-7 is probably about as inventive as I would want to get. And there is no anywhere close to 6-7 vehicle to buy, so I probably wouldn't ever get planes. Last but not least, Israel. Israel, I have bought the Ram Segal for this year. This is going to be the thing that I work on this year as well. So I've transitioned away from 3 nations at top tier or 4 nations at top tier to 1. This is going to be my 1 top tier nation. I am going to go all the way to the Merkava M4. Because I absolutely love the Merkava 4s. I think they're super, super cool. I love the Merkava in general. I think it's a great design. So I'm going to do that. As for aviation, though, quite the opposite. I'm just not going to bother touching it. I know that I could pick up like the Spitfire, for example, but I am also not really much of a dogfighter, so I don't really see much of a point in doing that. I would rather just wait for an event vehicle like the Kafir C2 or something like that to come out that is in one of these lower rank 4, rank 5s for Israel. Then I would maybe consider picking that up, talismaning it, and then starting to research some of these. But ultimately, I don't really care too much for CAS again. So that's it. That's where we're at currently. I haven't really gotten too far into some nations, but we ultimately completed USA, Germany, Russia, and France. That is 4 of the 10 nations done. And this year, we're going to work on Japan, rank 4, Italy, rank 4, Sweden, rank 5, and Israel all the way up to rank 8. Is this a smart idea? I don't know. But unfortunately, I don't really know if I want to play, well, Japan, Italy, or Sweden. Sweden has essentially just the Leopards, which I already have and I don't really need. And Italy has, well, probably one of the worst, if not the worst, I would say the worst, top tiers in the entire game, with the Arietes that are sad, and then a bunch of light tanks, which are really not my playstyle. And then Japan, while it has one of the best top tiers in the game, I also don't really know if I'm going to enjoy it, because it does kind of hit pretty close to home when it comes to, well, French. It's very similar to the French lineup and doesn't really offer anything unique in that regard. If anything, France has a little bit more uniqueness, because at least it has a better AA, and more importantly, it also gets a little bit more interesting in terms of a tech tree leading up to this point. One of the things that I'm a bit worried about is I get all the way to rank 4 and finish my rank 4, and there's nothing that really catches my eye, and I just don't bother playing rank 4. But I will give the STA 3 and the Type 61 a go. I'll give like the Type 74 SPH a go as well. Um, maybe even like just grabbing the Bulldog and having some fun with that as well at 6-7. That could be worth my time until I get the M47 and the Type 99, but I don't know. It's really hard to say. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my little overview. If you are a fan of War Thunder and you want to come say hello, maybe ask me some questions about certain things or certain vehicles, I'm live every single day over on Twitch. Usually it's at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around there. And I go for about 3.5 hours absolutely every single day. Weekdays, we just play the game, have fun. I play with viewers. And in the afternoons, we are very much so on Saturdays and Sundays playing custom games like hide and seek and other fun stuff. If you enjoyed the video, though, please do leave a like. Dislike the video if you didn't like it for some reason. I don't know what there is to dislike, but hey, fair enough. Maybe you just hate me, in which case, tell me down below. I don't know. And if you have, of course, the time, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because I do have daily uploads. They're not always going to be War Thunder. It's my little escape from War Thunder is the YouTube channel, but we do have plenty of War Thunder content coming out for the channel. So I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one or on the live streams. Nevertheless, much love, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.